Once I have my user interface ready for my to-do list, the next thing I want to do is to connect my user interface to my code. If you look to the far left side of the screen, there's a few different project files as we explained before. And the one that I'm looking for is the viewcontroller.swift. Instead of left clicking it though, hold down your Option key first and then left click on it. That way you end up opening up the editor, but you also keep your storyboard opened up. Now it might feel a little bit cluttered, so I'm going to go to the top right of my screen and I'm going to hide my project files, and then I'm also going to hide my object library and everything to the right. Once I'm there, I can reposition the screen a little bit, and now I can see my overall storyboard and my coding a lot easier. So instead of coming over here and hard coding, what you can end up doing with the storyboard and the programming language here is we can actually click on some of our options over here, drag them over here, and it's going to end up doing some of the coding for us. Just to give an example of this, what I'm going to first start off with is the text field. Once I have the text field highlighted, what I can do is I can right click and drag it. And as you drag it, you kind of see this web that's coming out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plop it right underneath my class view controller and let go. And when I do that, it's going to come up with a few options. Now for connection, you have outlet, action, or outlet collection. Since this is just an outlet for us, we're going to end up keeping it as so. And we're going to end up naming this something simple. So let's go ahead and name it, let's say, text add. Just like so. And the rest of it we're going to keep the same. Now you can see that it has connected and added that little bit of text for me and that programming language and coding. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with my text field right here. I'm going to hold down my right click and drag, and I'm going to let go right underneath. And I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I'm going to name this text field. So now I have two different outlets. Now the only thing that's really left to do here is to add a button. I want to make sure that when you click on the button, a message is sent. So what we need to end up doing here is we need to click on the submit button. And for this one, we're going to end up going down a little bit. We have these two override functions here. Our submit button is going to be right in between. So we're going to right click and drag again about line 19 and let go. But for this one, our connection instead of outlet is going to be an action, since it's something that we as a user have to press. And then for the name, I'm going to name it did tap button, just to give it an expression. And then I'm going to click on connect. Now with all that being done, you're probably thinking, hey, let's go ahead and connect the labels. But since the labels are static text and they're not going to be changing, we're going to leave it as it is for now. In our final tutorial to wrap up this mini project, we're going to look at what we need to specifically code in order to make this all work accordingly. Now that we have our actions and our outlets connected, we need to type a little bit of our own coding to make this overall tutorial work, as well as the project.